Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Zane. Today we'll take a look at Oasis network. Now before we get this video started, allow me to declare this video is not financial advice. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes and for educational purposes. Now the Oasis network is a layer 1 decentralized blockchain network designed to be uniquely scalable, privacy first, and versatile. Now those are three unique are very important to the success of Oasis network. You got scalability, which means that the network needs to grow. It needs to grow and it has to be able to grow. A network that cannot grow, a network that cannot adapt and change and advance is a network that can sometimes leave itself a little bit crippled. A network has to be flexible because blockchain will always keep on advancing. The technology we have will keep on advancing. And in my opinion, I still believe that we are in the infancy of the blockchain technology and we're constantly trying to make it better and better. Given 5 to 10 years, the landscape of blockchain and cryptocurrency are going to be vastly different in the next 5 to 10 years. A lot more people will learn to appreciate blockchain and to appreciate cryptos and what they're trying to accomplish. And blockchain will become blockchain will become something that is part of your life every day in some way. Something in your life will have to run on blockchain. So it's important for any given crypto, especially Oasis, to be scalable because it has to meet these demands in the future. It's also privacy first, which is good as well because people want to feel like their privacy is being protected, especially in a time like this where a lot of social media giants or companies, once they get their hands on a large group of information, such as people identity and their personal information, they hold on to it and do whatever they want. So users are always looking for a platform that is privacy centric, a platform that cares about your privacy just as much as you do. And versatility, of course, meaning that it's not necessarily tied to one type of thinking. It can do different things. It can think in different ways and it can evolve and build in different ways, which is good. This is key for any success of. Now the network has two main architectural components. The first one is consensus layer and the secondary one is paratime layer. And I'll explain these in brief. Perhaps the best way to explain this is to show you an actual graph on the screen. So the consensus layer is a scalable, high throughput, secure proof of stake consensus that is run on decentralized set of validators nodes. Now the paratime layer hosts many parallel times, each representing a replicated compute environment in shared state. Now before we get into the technology highlights, we've got plenty of things to talk about in the technology highlights, but before we can get to that, we've got some recent news. Binance will support Oasis amongst others such as Kava and Certic. This is great news for Binance. This is great news for Oasis as well. 1600 UTC time. That's today, the 31st of April. That's today, the 31st of August. The deposit and withdrawals of Rose token is actually Oasis token, will be suspended starting from the approximate 1500 UTC time today, the 31st. Now they also give you more information in terms of the estimated time for the users, reference only and is subject to change depending on block. But that's just a quick news that Oasis network will be added to Binance. It's huge for a lot of people in the Oasis network. Now we can have a look at the technological highlights. Scalable, reliable, and versatile. The Oasis network separates consensus execution into two layers, the consensus layer and the paratime layer, for better scalability and increased versatility. Separation of consensus and execution allows multiple paratimes to process transactions in parallel, meaning complex workout processes on one paratime won't slow down faster, simple transactions on another. And now obviously onto security. Confidential smart contracts. The first network to support confidential smart contracts, the Oasis network. Runtime is open source example of confidential paratime that uses secure enclaves to keep the data private while being processed. There's also efficient design. The network's unique system of dependency detection makes Oasis more efficient. Now Oasis have some huge partners in the space. Parachain Lab, Stakefish, Chorus, Bison Trails. Developers include Oasis Labs, safe rate. And there's also selective backers as well, such as Parachain Capital, Panthera, Accel, A16Z, list continues. And if you actually want to take a look at the papers, that can be easily done. There's the white paper, the Oasis blockchain platform. There is the digital stewardship and introduction. There's obviously the research paper, confidential compute on the Oasis network. 3 different papers, very important, very crucial to the Oasis network. Now, something I'm really interested in is obviously scalability. Without scalability, I think many cryptocurrency will simply lag behind and other crypto will just replace them over time. With being faster, more secure, or more decentralized. So the Oasis network impressive scalability is achieved through a cutting-edge set of features that provide faster transaction speeds and higher throughputs than other networks. So on top, you've got the consensus layer, and below, you've got the paratime layers. These all differs because we've spoken about them before, the EVM compatible paratime, the confidential compute, and the permission enterprise paratime. Now, separation of the consensus. By separating paratime from consensus, multiple paratimes can process transactions in parallel, meaning complex workloads proceeds on one paratime won't slow down faster, simpler transactions on another. So by separating them, you actually make the network a lot more faster because now they can compute, they can do different things at the same time in parallel. Which simply means that if one system is compromised, one system is slowed down, that will not affect another, such as the consensus. How about discrepancy detection? The network sophisticated discrepancy detection makes Oasis more efficient than sharding and parachain, requiring a small public replication factor for the same level of security. Something really important to everyone is their privacy. So obviously it's privacy first, and they want to explain to you just how this works, how important it is for them, and how important it is to keep your information safe. So security first. The Oasis network supports confidential smart contracts. This allows sensitive data to be used by dApps and unlocking new use cases and applications of blockchain technology. The encrypted data on the right-hand side is actually brought into this enclave, along with the smart contracts. This leads to encrypted results. It scrambles this data. It randomizes this data, so it doesn't make sense to anyone on the other side. Nevertheless, this is obviously a unique way to do things. A lot of systems obviously use encrypted data technology, and it's proven to be extremely effective, especially when it comes to preventing a data leak or data breach. So trusted execution environment. In a confidential paratime, nodes are required to use types of secure computing technology called a TEE, Trust Execution Environment. TEEs are acts of hypothetical block box for smart contracts execution in confidential paratime. This process ensures that data remains confidential and is never leaked to the node's operators or application developer. On the other hand, you've obviously got the Oasis ETH and WASI paratime. The Oasis ETH and WASI paratime is an open source example of a confidential paratime that uses Intel, SGX, other secure compute technologies such as ZKP, or other secure enclaves can also be used in the future. We hope to support additional computational technologies such as secure multi-party compute, federative learning, and more. And there's obviously a new era for blockchain. There's always a new era for blockchain, in my opinion. We can see this with multiple blockchains such as Mina protocol, such as other blockchains such as Solana, who can process up to 50,000 transactions per second. Blockchain technology is obviously evolving quite heavily, and most of this is actually being done in the last few years, in the last 5 years or so. Confidentiality unlocks a range of new use cases on the blockchain by allowing personnel or sensitive data such as their social security number, bank statement, health information to be used by dApps on the Oasis network, something incredibly risky on other layer 1 network. Now it's time to take a look at Versatility, designed to support the next generation of blockchain application. I like this because it's always looking ahead to support the next generation of blockchain technology. And the next generation of blockchain technology is always evolving and getting better and faster and more secure and more decentralized, which means that if you can't keep up with it, you'll simply be left behind. So the Oasis network is incredibly versatile and agile and customizable, which is good. They're going to need all 3 of these unique traits you don't just want to be in the top 100 of cryptocurrency, you want to be in the top one. You want to be in the top 10 of cryptocurrencies in the world. Customized paradigm. Each paradigm can be developed in isolation to meet the needs of specific application, or small, open or close, allowing for faster and more secure execution depending on the requirements of a particular use case. Nodes can be required to have specific hardware, such as secure enclave as confidential paradigm. Each paradigm can simply run different runtime VMs, paradigm engines such as EVM, backwards compatible engine. And finally, of course, open and close paradigm. To support enterprise and developers in use cases, paradigms can be made permission, allowing consortiums to have their own closed paradigm or committees to have fully decentralized open paradigms. Now we've obviously got the token itself. The token currently sits at 12 cents. There's 10 billion tokens in max supply and total supply that can be released to the public over the coming years. There's 1.5 billion tokens in circulating supply right now. Now what's really amazing is that at the start of August, around the 3rd, back in the 3rd of August, the price was actually 0.07 cents. The price was incredibly low compared to where it is now. Currently sits at its all-time high was actually at 14 cents. So I think a great price target for this month is probably around 20 cents. Not for this month actually, for September next month. That also means that you'll probably be looking at a market cap around 300 million. Now, if it does hit this milestone, then we can obviously come back to this video and make another price prediction. But I think 20 cents is definitely possible. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, leave a like and a comment. And of course, I will see you in the next